words cannot be forgotten. His actions cannot be undone. The pact is now broken. You know what to do. Kill them all.
I stand before you as herald of the change. Baron Valkonin thus declare war against Luetin and his Ultramarines. Their traitorous nature has now been revealed and must be quenched.
Tell me about these dreams.
I had one.
What did you see?
War. My hobby. My channel. My Dorn.
He's done it again. This bloody bastard ultramarine of a bookworm, Luetin. I've just watched his bloody video all about Rogal Dorn. He's done one, and now he's done another one to reaffirm his point. And before you say it, yes, I am dressed like I'm going to school because I'm about to teach this ultramarine player a big lesson, and that is Dorn lives and the sons of Dorn are not to be messed with. So let's jump in and let's get waffling. Now, me and Luetin always have had a close relationship. I would consider him a friend, but I don't because he's a southerner and I'm a northerner and all southerners are bastards. But we do have a nice back and forth when it comes to the lore of Warhammer 40,000. For example, he is a big Ultramarine player. He's a big Ultramarine simp. I'm a big Imperial Fist player. I'm a big Imperial Fist simp. My Gene Father defended Terra, protected the Emperor, while his Gene Father sat on his ass for the entire Horus Heresy and basically set up the Imperium Secundus, making his own new Imperium because he was too scared to come out of his library. Now, putting Guilliman's Heresy aside, let's focus on the big point that has dropped over the past couple of weeks, and that is the brand new book, Fulgrim. And I just want to say, before I jump into this subject, if you're reading the book and you don't want to be spoiled, if you want to read the book and you don't want to be spoiled, then please leave the video right now, because I am going to talk about a certain bit that may be considered spoilers and it may ruin the book for you. So please leave. This is your first and only warning. Now, in the Fulgrim book, a Black Templar has a vision, and in that vision, he sees himself on the battlefield, and he's seeing himself fighting with Dorn, or he assumes that he's fighting with Rogal Dorn. He then goes to tells his Castellan, if I'm not mistaken, that he saw Dorn, he fought with Dorn. They then make him the Emperor's champion, and they think, like, you know, they got to fight with Rogal Dorn. That does not happen in the book. That is a vision. It's maybe a prophecy. I'm going to go into a theory in a second, but that vision does not happen. I made a video about that. Like, if Dorn did return in that book, then I'd be all over the internet right now. Every single video would be, how's Dorn going to return? This is going to happen with Rogal Dorn. It was just a vision. But I think that vision is alluding to maybe a foundation being set in the future, because I don't think the vision that that Black Templar had was that Black Templar at that battlefield. I think he was seeing himself through a future Emperor's champion. Like, he was looking at a battlefield that he did not exist in, and he saw that. He saw Dorn leading the Black Templars in a future type of thing. That's what I took from it. That's my theory. That's my craft I took from that. But I understand how that has lit the fire under this whole, is Dorn returning? Is Dorn gonna come back? You know, there was a lot of evidence that Dorn is dead, etc., etc. I'll hold my hands up. I've said this before. Dorn was dead, and this is why I always say Dorn now lives, because Games Workshop have retconned that lore. Back in the day, Ian Watson, the Space Marine book, Dorn's full skeleton was literally on the phalanx. He had like a Balin type of light on him from Lord of the Rings, like encased in amber and lit it all up kind of thing. It was really, really cool. But that was retconned, I think, in the Sentinels of Terror. Was it 6th edition, 7th edition book? Somewhere along 6th edition, 7th edition, it was retconned that the only relic that the Imperial Fist had is the Hand of Dorn. Nothing else was found. No other body parts, no head, no chest, no lungs, no feet, no other hands, anything like that. Just one single fist. So for me, his death, in a way, was retconned from being dead to missing in action, which means that Games Workshop wants to bring him back. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next year, maybe not in 5 years, maybe not in 10 years, but they do want to bring him back, or have the option to bring him back in a future edition, a future narrative, to make one thing that they absolutely love, and that is money. Because Primarchs make money. When you make a Primarch, when you make a Primarch model, bring them back to the lore, they get people excited and they produce a shed ton of money. And there's one more thing as well, which, Luetin, I'm sure you would agree to. We even talked about this last night on stream before you stabbed me in the back. Et tu, Brutus, okay? And that is 40k is not canon. The lore is not canon. I absolutely hate this. I 110% hate this. I actually want to do a dedicated video on this, on how much I hate this. I know Luetin is, well, I say he's all for it. He basically accepts it in a way. I don't accept it. I will defend it like Dorn on a wall, okay? I think all 40k lore should be canon, because then it makes you care for the faction, the stories, the people you follow. I think it gives an excuse to authors and other people then to not really care about the stories that they're writing, because then it's like, who really cares? It's not really canon. If you make it canon, then they have to care more. They have to make sure they do the research more, because it means more to the actual story. But anyway, apart from that rant, okay, I'll do a separate video on that later on. Lore is not canon at this moment in time, which means everything that we've talked about, everything that Luetin's saying, everything is not really real, because nothing is canon. Uno reverse, Dorn is alive, and he's coming back. How is he coming back? I have no idea. Games Workshop will make him spring out the ground, just like they did with Primaris Marines, right? There was tens of thousands of Primaris Marines that basically burst out of all the corners of the room at one point in the Gathering Storm. Don't you think they can't do something like that with just one singular Primarch? Of course they can, right? They do whatever they bloody hell want with their lore, because it's their lore. Maybe Dorn was in the webway. Maybe Dorn was sent on a secret mission with the Emperor. My fan theory is that Dorn is actually a prisoner, not of Perturabo, which all these Iron Warrior simps, these pillow criers, right? You know, the demon Primarch. Perturabo is in the shape of a pillow because he's that much of a loser. He doesn't have Rogel Dorn. One of the, well, Alpha Legion Primarchs have it, either Omegon and Alpharis. We don't know which one Dorn killed because it gets so confusing. I do think he killed Omegon, but then again, who the hell knows? I think he's being kept in like a prison, and the Alpha Legion are literally watching Dorn watch the Imperium slowly fall down, because Dorn wants to die for the Imperium, right? Dorn's duty is fulfilled if he dies in the Emperor's name. That is an honorable death. That is a warrior's death. Dorn will accept being brought down by 10,000 cultists and stuff. He dies in the Emperor's name then, right? Duty fulfilled. That is all it is for Rogel Dorn. Duty and an oath to defend. But if you lock him away, right? If you make him watch the Imperium, the Imperial dream, slowly fade away, crack, the Emperor's realm ruin for over 10,000 years, maybe, just maybe, that could break the Primarch. But who am I kidding, right? Even Khorne couldn't break Rogel Dorn. My Primarch has a track record of beating other Primarchs, every single demon prince that was slung against him, and even the god that was known as Khorne. He beat him by reading the Geneva Convention in that big desert place during the Siege of Terror. I never seen Guilliman do that. All I saw is Guilliman brought back by witchcraft by the Eldar. How could you live with yourself? How could you live with yourself knowing that your big daddy Primarch was brought back by the Eldar? I could never live it down. I would have to walk away from my chapter at that point, right? But then again, I have morals when it comes to serving the Emperor. Clearly, the Ultramarine simps do not. And apart from all of this, Luetin, you big bastard, right? I challenge you to a battlefield, all right? I've got a gaming table. It's literally on the other side of that wall. Get your knights, get your Ultramarines. I've got Templars, I've got Imperial Fists, right? I've got everything you want. I've got my knights. Fight me. I'll film it, we'll put it online, and we'll settle this once and for all. All the money raised, we'll give it to charity, anything like that. I do have a friend called Charity, and we'll do it, right? So fight me. Let's get it done, you big bookworm bastard.